Join Kids Hut family. What is the matter, Tofu?
I wanted to be the class leader, Tia, but I didn't win the poetry contest last week, and today I accidentally dropped the fish bowl and it broke. My teacher had to put the class fish into plastic bags and take them home. Oh, yes. I'm sure I won't become the class leader now. I'm sure no one in class likes me now.
I understand why you feel like that, Tofu. But don't lose hope. Even the worst situations can lead to something nice.
I don't think that can ever happen, Tia.
Well, it happened to the musicians of Bremen.
Musicians of Bremen? What happened to them?
Musicians of Bremen. Once upon a time, a man had a donkey. When the donkey grew old and sick, the man decided to kill him and sell his skin. The donkey understood his master's plans and ran away and took the road to Bremen.
I will go to Bremen and become a musician.
On his way, he saw an old dog lying in the grass.
Dog, what are you doing here?
I have become so old. I cannot gather the sheep for my master like I used to, so my master beats me.
Why don't you come with me to Bremen? We will become musicians there.
The dog agreed, and the two new friends continued their journey. In some time, they came upon a cat sitting by the road. Looking like the skies were about to come down on him.
Cat, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so sullen?
It is my mistress. I have grown old and cannot chase the mice like I used to. So she has planned to get rid of me by drowning me in the river.
Oh, that's not nice. I have an idea. The donkey and I are going to Bremen to become musicians. Why don't you join us? You can sing a jolly tune too.
The cat liked the idea very much and made his escape with his two new friends. They had only walked a while when they came upon a cock. He was singing without a stop.
Cock, what is wrong with you? This is not the hour for you to sing.
Well, my mistress is having a big dinner party over, and she has instructed the cook to cook me for a soup. My head will be cut off this evening, so I'm singing till my neck and throat are intact.
Is that it? We all are going to Bremen to become musicians. Why don't you come with us? After all, you already know beats and tunes.
And so the party set forth on their journey to Bremen, which was still very far. As night fell, they felt tired and hungry.
We must find a spot to eat and rest for the night.
Everybody agreed and they decided to look for a place to spend the night. In some time, they came upon a lonely house. Its lights were lit and they could hear the sounds of a gathering from inside. The cat climbed up a tree and peeped in from an open window.
It is a gang of robbers, and they have delicious spread of meats and drinks before them.
I could use a couple of bones with some meat right now.
And I could with something to drink. My throat is parched.
Let us find a way to drive the robbers away.
The four friends huddled together and at last came up with a plan to drive the robbers away. The donkey put his front feet on the ledge of the window and the dog climbed over his back. The cat climbed on the dog and the cock flew on the top of the cat's head. Once they were ready, they all performed their music together. The donkey brayed, the dog barked, the cat mewed, and the cock cock-a-doodled. The music was so loud that the windows of the house shook and threatened to come down upon the robbers. The robbers were scared by these unimaginable sounds and quickly flee from the house. As soon as they were gone, the four musicians took over the dining table and fed themselves full. Once they were done, they switched off the lights and went to sleep.
I will sleep on the straw.
I will sleep by the door.
I will sleep upon the hearth by the warmth of the fireplace.
I will sleep on this beam of the house. Soon they all fell asleep. A little away from the house, the robbers watched as the lights of the house went off.
We shouldn't have been scared like this. One of you go back in and tell us what is going on inside the house.
And so one of the men made his way back into the house. The house was so dark and quiet that he went to the kitchen to strike a light. But he mistook the cat's shiny eyes for coal and put a burning match to them. Shocked by the attack, the cat jumped on the robber and scratched his face. This scarred the robber and he ran towards the back of the door to find a way out of the house. But in the dark, he accidentally stepped on the dog that bit his leg. All the commotion woke the cock, and he came flying down to land on the robber's head and cried, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo." Ultimately, the donkey kicked him out of the house with his hind legs. The robber ran to the rest of the gang.
Chief, the house is haunted. An evil witch lives there. She scratched my face. At the door stands a man with a knife. He cut my leg. In the backyard is a monster that hit me with a club. And on the roof sits a judge who screamed, "Bring the knave up, do."
Hearing this, the robbers got on their horses and left the house forever. But everything went so well for the four musicians that they decided to live in that house forever. And never made it to Bremen. So you see, Tofu, even when you think that nothing is working out, all you have to do is keep trying and things will turn around.
Thanks, Tia. I always feel so much better after talking to you.
You're always welcome, Tofu.
Tia and Tofu are going on a school trip while traveling in the bus.
I am so excited, Tia. This is my first school camp. It'll be so much fun.
Tofu, I know you are excited, but you should remember what parents told us. We have to be safe and careful throughout.
Tia, I am a big boy, and this is my first adventure. I'll be cautious throughout, I promise. I am so happy we are going together. La 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 la.
It's a camp, Tofu, so I don't want you wandering around alone at all. We'll have lots of fun, but we'll stick together and be like a team. Like Batman and Robin, like Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel? I haven't seen that movie.
It's not a movie, little one. It's a story of two siblings, just like us. I think this is the best time for me to tell you this story. So, sit tight. Hansel and Gretel. Once, a poor woodcutter had a son and a daughter named Hansel and Gretel. One day, they get an evil stepmother. One night, the stepmother tells the woodcutter,
The kids eat too much. We'll be starving soon. So let's leave the children in the forest and get rid of them.
What are you saying? No!
But the wife was very persistent, and she kept talking until he was convinced. Hansel overhears their conversation. So that night, Hansel goes out and collects shiny white stones.
We'll find our way back home. Stop crying, Gretel. Hansel, tomorrow we are going to die. What do we do? Don't worry, we will survive. Good night, Gretel.
Hansel hides the stones and sleeps. The next morning, the stepmother takes the kids to the forest. Hansel keeps dropping stones on the ground, thinking, we can follow these stones home.
Children, wait by this big tree. Just sit quietly here, and I'll be back to get you.
But she never comes back to get them.
Let's wait for nightfall, Gretel. I dropped a trail of white stones all the way here. So, with the moonlight shining on them, we could get back home. I am so scared.
So at night, Hansel and Gretel follow the shiny stones out of the forest. The stepmother was secretly angry. A few days later, the stepmother again tricks the children.
Let's go have a picnic in the forest. Here, take this bread to eat later. We'll go in the morning.
This time, the stepmother locked their room at night, and so Hansel couldn't pick up any shiny stones. Next morning, on their way to the forest, Hansel crumbled his bread and left a trail of crumbs instead. Deep in the forest.
This looks like a good spot. You both can take a nap here while I go and cut some wood.
Hansel and Gretel knew she wouldn't come back again. They slept. And waited for nightfall again. When they woke up, the birds and wild animals had eaten up all the crumbs.
Now we will never find our way home. I am so upset for us, Gretel. Hansel, don't lose hope. Let's walk and maybe we find our home.
After walking the entire day, they find a small house.
There! A cookie house! Wow! Oh, the house is made of chocolate with a roof of cake and sugar windows. Come, come!
The hungry children didn't even stop to think.
I want a big piece of the cake roof. Yum!
Suddenly, they hear a voice.
Children, come inside. You seem hungry. I'll make you yummy food right now.
The lady was an evil witch. The kids go in the house with her.
It's a trap. I like to eat kids. I made this house to lure you in. Now I'll fatten the boy up and make a tasty treat for myself.
Her eyes were red. She had terrible eyesight, but a good sense of smell. She locks Hansel in a cellar. She makes Gretel do all the housework, all the chores. Hansel and Gretel cried and begged, but she had no mercy on them.
Come on, girl. Cook something delicious for your brother. He should be fat enough to be cooked by the end of this month.
A week passed. Hansel ate delicious food, while Gretel was always hungry. Every morning, the old witch went to Hansel's cellar and shouted,
Show me your fingers, boy. Let me check how much fatter you've gotten.
but Hansel would always stick out a little bone for her to feel, because the witch couldn't see very well. She was furious that Hansel was staying so thin. One day, she lost her patience and shouted at Gretel,
I don't care anymore. I'll cook thin Hansel today and eat him anyhow. And start the oven.
Gretel had no choice, and she started doing what the evil witch told her.
Now get in and see if the water is boiling enough.
How can I get inside the oven? Please show me so that I can check the water.
Stupid girl. What is wrong with you? It's so easy. Look, you just need to step here and...
Gretel cleverly pushed the old woman in the oven and shut the door. The vicious witch burned to a crisp. Gretel rushed to the cellar and set Hansel free.
Hansel, my dear brother, the witch is dead. Now let's run out of here and find our home.
How happy they were. While running out of the house, they saw wooden chests all over in the witch's room. They were filled with gems and gold. The children filled their pockets with as many gems as possible and left the house. Hansel and Gretel walked for a few hours. When they got to a bridge that they knew well and was close to their house.
Look! Father! Father!
Hansel and Gretel could finally see their father at the porch, looking miserable because his wife had died.
My dearest children, I'm so happy you both are alive. I am sorry for letting you go.
The three hugged, and precious gems started to fall out of Gretel's pockets. Both the children emptied their pockets in their father's lap. They told their father about the evil witch and how they got her treasure.
Oh my God, I am happy my kids came back safe. I will never leave you alone now.
Finally, they could have a carefree life and lived together, happily ever after.
Ooh, witches are scary. We are about to reach the forest camp very soon. Don't leave my hand when we go hiking in the forest. I want us to be like Hansel and Gretel. I promise not to go anywhere alone. Does this forest have a cookie house or a witch, Tia?
Tofu, it's just a story. Hansel and Gretel shared an adventure like a team. Don't worry about any witch. It's just a camp. I hope we find a cookie house like Hansel and Gretel.
Cookie house, yum! That sounds wow! I am hungry now. Give me the chocolates from the bag, Tia, please.
Oh, look there! It's a rainbow!
Yes, a rainbow, Tofu. Can you tell me all the colors in the rainbow?
Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red.
Vibgyor, that's the way to remember it.
All 7 colors, and it looks so pretty. But how is a rainbow formed?
Rainbows are spectacular rays of color. Sunlight looks white, but it's really made of different colors. A rainbow is seen when the sun shines after the rain.
White light is made of 7 colors. Wow, what's this?
It's a prism. Okay, let me explain it to you with the help of a prism. The sun forms a rainbow when white light passes through raindrops. The raindrops act like tiny prisms. When sunlight passes through a raindrop, it bends and scatters into the band of colors. This can be reflected back to you as a rainbow.
But where do I look for a rainbow?
You need to remember 3 things. First, it must be raining.
It must be raining.
Second, the sun must be shining.
The sun must be shining.
Third, you must be between the sun and the rain. Okay, Tofu, now let's enjoy watching the wonderful rainbow.
Look at that girl, Tia. That boy will beat her up easily. I don't think she should get into a fight with him.
No, Tofu. The boy was wrong to have stolen her bag, and the girl deserves a chance to get it back.
But she's a girl. She can't win against a boy like that. She will get hurt.
Just because she is a girl doesn't mean she has to fear, Tofu. Girls also have a lot of courage and strength.
Do you know of a girl like that?
Yes, I do. Her name is Mulan.
Mulan? Who is she?
Mulan lived in ancient China with her parents. She was their only child. Her only companion was her dog called Little Brother. Mulan's father used to be a great warrior, but he had hurt his leg in a war and couldn't fight anymore. One day, a messenger came from the emperor. The Huns, China's army, had attacked, and at least one man from each army had been ordered to join the emperor's imperial army. This was terrible news for Mulan and her family, as it meant that her father would have to go back to war. That night, when her parents had slept, Mulan had an idea. She took her father's sword and cut her hair off. Then she put on his warrior's uniform, and she looked just like a man. She took Little Brother and made her way to the Imperial Army's campsite. There she met Captain Li Shang.
What is your name?
Ping, sir.
Very well then. Time to begin your training.
Mulan was delighted that everybody had accepted her as a man and started her training. Sadly, she lagged behind all the other warriors.
You are not fit to be in my army. You are slowing everyone down. Go back to your village.
Returning to her village would have brought great shame to her family, so Mulan came up with another plan. She wrote a fake letter to the army saying that the Huns have attacked. Reading the letter, Li Shang ordered his army.
Onward with me. March to the mountains. We shall defeat the Huns forever.
As the army was crossing the pass that led to the mountains, they found themselves surrounded by thousands of Huns.
We've been cheated. The Huns were supposed to be in the mountains.
Soon the entire imperial army was under attack. Mulan had another idea. She took the last cannon and lit it. There was a huge blast which destroyed most of the Huns. but it injured Mulan too. She was rushed to the doctor's tent.
Bring Pink to this bed. I will take care of him.
But there was a surprise waiting for the doctor.
Oh my God! Ping is a woman. Get me Captain Li Shang immediately.
The doctor told the captain what she'd found. Few days later, when the army started moving, Shang spoke to Mulan.
You have cheated me. But you also saved the army in the passes. Hence, your punishment is that you can no longer be a part of the army. You will not come with us.
Mulan was very upset and heartbroken. She needed to do something to save her family's honor. That's when she heard the Huns' voices. Oh no! The Huns are still alive! I must warn the captain. And so Mulan raced to Imperial City to warn Shang. They are alive! We must prepare for another attack from the Huns.
I cannot trust you anymore. You have cheated me before. You are not welcome here. Leave.
Mulan tried to inform the other leaders, but no one would listen to her. Meanwhile, the Hun leader, Shan Yu, attacked the city. And kidnapped the emperor. Li Shang and Mulan freed the emperor. Mulan then enticed Shan Yu to follow her to the rooftop. There she tricked him and grabbed his sword and pinned his coat to the roof. As the two armies collided, there was a huge explosion and the roof was destroyed, taking with it Shan Yu. Mulan fell to the ground. When she sat up, she saw that the Imperial army had won, and the Huns had been banished from the city forever. The Emperor was very happy with Mulan's bravery and gifted her a sword as a token of appreciation. Mulan went home and presented the sword to her father, who was very happy with the honor that his daughter had brought to the family. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It was Captain Li Shang. He'd come to return Mulan her helmet that she had forgotten. Mulan invited him to stay for dinner, and he graciously accepted. So you see, Tofu, girls can do anything they put their heart to. Tofu? Tofu, are you listening to me?
Yes, Tia. I am. I am just thinking how wrong I was to think that girls can't fight.
Well, now you know. So better be careful before you pick a fight with a girl next time. What are you doing, Tofu?
I'm trying to water the plants, but this hose is broken.
Come, let me tell you a short story. The Clever Crow. The Clever Crow. One hot day, a thirsty crow flew all over the fields looking for water. For a long time, he could not find any water. Suddenly, he saw a water jug below the tree. He flew straight down to see if there was any water inside. Yes, he could see some water inside the jug. The crow tried to push his head into the jug. Sadly, he found that the neck of the jug was too narrow.
What should I do? I am really thirsty. How do I drink water?
Then he tried to push the jug to tilt for the water to flow out, but the jug was too heavy. He looked around and saw some pebbles. He suddenly had a good idea. He started picking up the pebbles one by one, dropping each into the jug. As more and more pebbles filled the jug, the water level kept rising. Soon, it was high enough for the crow to drink. His plan had worked. So, like the clever crow was able to find a solution to the problem by thinking and working hard, would you be able to find one to this too?
Thanks, Tia. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.